Hello family, I'm Robert, I'm a real alcoholic. I want to like to welcome everyone to the Atlanta Stepper Society book study. The name of our book study is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. Let's open with a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer. Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I would still like to thank all the people around the world who's watching this YouTube. Wayne gave me another report today. It's a lot of new countries that clicked on since last week. Pakistan, all kind of, these are new countries. There must have been 30 new hits from 30 new countries been added on. So with that, I'm grateful. Because I know for a fact, I believe what the people said in the beginning, that they wanted to make sure every alcoholic on the planet get this message. And that's my vision, to make sure every alcoholic on the planet receive this message. So my vision is the same as theirs. That go back to what I was saying about spirituality. There is no division in spirituality. I and my Father are one. We're not separated in spirituality. We can see each other's body in here, but be mindful, there's only one here. There's only one in the globe. Only nothing here but God. Even though we're looking in this third dimensional world, there's nothing here but God. That makes sense? That's why people talk about miracles. I received a miracle. When you stop doing what you're doing stupid, the miracle's there. It's a miracle. I'm in recovery. Recovery always been here. The miracle showed up when you stopped using it. A miracle is undoing your foolishness and it pops in your life. But it was always present. There's nothing new. It's not no real, like, you're going to get a miracle. It's just there. You undo something, you'll see the blessing. That's the way it works. All right? We're still in the chapter, working with others. Working with others. Last week, we kind of stayed on the subject of what do we do if someone don't want to do this? And we talked about all of that. So that's in the CD or the DVD from the previous week. Tonight, our topic, even though it's still working with others, is going to be more in the line of what's our responsibilities to the newcomer, or prospect, or a sponsee. What do we do? How can we help them? It kind of goes back to, let me see if I can do this. Like in our society, you have like a teacher and a student, right? The classroom academic will be a teacher and a student. So the teacher usually has some kind of specialty. There's probably higher or bigger or more special than the student, right? So you got the teacher and the student, and they're separate. I'm teaching, y'all learning. That's in the world, the thinking academic world. They're separate. However, in the spiritual world, there's no separation. The teacher and the student is the same. We give in order to keep what we have. So the teacher or the sponsor help the sponsee, but the sponsor is learning at the same time as the sponsee. We are the same. In the spiritual world, we're the same. I keep saying it. I must have said 100 times in this room. In spirituality, there is no separation. Jesus said it well. I and the Father are the same. One. So as we start taking and looking at this stuff, we sponsor more not by words, but by a demonstration of our life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can come up here and do this book study and send it all over the world if I want to, but let me take a drink and then try to talk about it. That's a whole different demonstration. And I can guarantee you, the country that's adding on will start decreasing because my demonstration decreased. That makes sense? So, as we go forward, they're going to give us some more examples of how to help, they say a prospect, a newcomer. We say sponsor and sponsee. Every time you help, I had a guy in my office not too long ago, and he's working on his 4-step. He's learned how to do column 4 in the 4-step. But we're selfish, dishonest, frightened, and inconsiderate. But in order for me to explain it to him, I had to go back in myself to give up myself and show him how I did it in order to explain it to him. I could not do it for him. I had to come from me, from who I am, in order, you know, what I was going to do at that time to show him how to do it for himself. So at that moment, I was no longer a teacher. I was no longer a sponsor. Him and I became one in order to do the work. That makes sense? So that's what we kind of are with this. There's no separation in this. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're thinking worldly, it is separation. That's what I want to talk about, both of them. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that the sponsors out here, I'm not going to deceive you, they think they better than you. Because in the world, they do believe that. And I can understand that. You go in any classroom, a professor going to let you know I'm the boss in here. Your education depends on my grade that I give you. So you got to kiss a little bit of butt, you're going to have to kiss a little bit of butt in this class. There's going to be some pastors tell you they more better than you. Put you down in the pool, from the pulpit. The little box or the little table, they'll put you down because they better. But I told y'all we had the best program on earth. I keep saying that. 12 Steps is the best program on earth. If you really in it, you know you're the same as that person. You come from the same problem, and we got the same solution. That's what the book say. Ain't no point in talking down to nobody, because you're talking down to yourself. You put somebody down, you're putting yourself down. Now let's see what the book got to say about that. Page 97. Never avoid these responsibilities.
Never avoid these responsibilities, but be sure you are doing the right thing if you assume them. Helping others is the foundation stone of your recovery. To kindly act once in a while isn't enough. You have to act the Good Samaritan every day if need be. It may mean the loss of many nights' sleep, great interference with your pleasures, interruptions to your business. It may mean sharing your money and your home, counseling frantic wives and relatives, innumerable trips to police courts, sanitariums, hospitals, jails, and asylums. Your telephone may jangle at any time of the day or night. Your wife may sometimes say she is neglected. A drunk may smash the furniture in your home or burn a mattress. You may have to fight with him if he is violent. Sometimes you will have to call a doctor and administer sedatives under his direction. Another time you may have to send for the police or an ambulance. Occasionally you will have to meet such conditions.
All right. They say never avoid these responsibilities. And then they start listing all this stuff that happens if you sponsoring somebody or you working with somebody. I didn't number them, but they say, but be sure you're doing the right thing if you assume these responsibilities or working with others. Helping others is the foundation stone of your recovery. My foundation in recovery is giving back, helping others. If it's the foundation of my recovery or your recovery, then you have to be standing on a foundation. That means you have to have it. You have to be solid. You have to be standing on the foundation to be able to help others. And to keep the foundation strong, you must continuously give back of yourself. That's what we're talking about, of yourself. Okay? So, then they started listing all this stuff. Our main purpose, back earlier in the book, our main purpose or existence on life is only one reason I'm here. And that is to help others and serve God. That's the whole human existence in a nutshell. To help others and serve God. That's my mission. That's your mission. There is no other mission. That's it. You come up with an idea of how to do that, and you don't have to look far. You do not have to look far. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to look in space to see if it's God's will or not. Alright? If you come up with an idea to help someone else, that is God's will. You don't have to look through the cloud like I used to and question myself, am I doing the will of God? That is the will of God. That makes sense? Yeah. To help others and serve God. And if you help another, you are serving God. Because I and the Father are one. Then it says, a kindly act once in a while isn't enough. You have to act the Good Samaritan every day, if need be. The Samaritan, first of all, is a compassionate person. We're not talking about a race, your people, you know what I'm trying to say? We're just talking about a good Samaritan. It's a compassionate person. And it says that you can't do this once in a while. You have to do this every day, if need be. And by being that good Samaritan, that compassionate person that like to help others, you're going to face difficulties. You're going to face all kind of stress. I see Ken over there. Let me tell y'all something. Ken and I have the same amount of clean time, 21 years. I can tell you, I have never met a man in my circle of recovery that worked more and helped more alcoholics and addicts than Ken May. I can tell you that. He had me beat on that one. I was a big book thumper. I wasn't going to go far to help you. You know, that was my will. Yeah. You know, that's what I did. He really helped people. I seen Ken get vans, y'all, and take people fishing in recovery. He'd go back, and I eat the fish when they get back. But they would go trout farms. They would go trips to Alabama. They had all kind of cookouts. He helped a lot of newcomers. I ain't talking about just a sponsor sponsoring a sponsee, or a sponsor that had 4 or 5 sponsees and they meet, you know, every once in a while. He wasn't doing that. These are people he really didn't even know. He would go to a treatment center and get up 20 of them. Take them, am I right? Take them somewhere. Basketball games. He called it and that was a good thing, male bonding. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what he did. That's a good Samaritan. All right. Now, they list a whole lot of stuff. This is important. It may mean the loss of many nights sleep. I'm not going to talk about each little sentence, each little phase of it. Great interference with your pleasures. Interruptions to your business. Well, I can talk about that one. I mean, I done had some serious interruptions to my business. How about we have trucks that the company pay for, and guys supposed to be out picking up donations, and somebody called me saying, we see your truck at the crack house. The 30 people that they're supposed to be picking up the donations for is calling when the truck gonna get here. They geeking. Put the key in the ashtray. We had to go get it. And then get clean. 3 months later, can I come back? I ain't a good Samaritan. You gotta go somewhere else for that one. So we have had interruptions in our business. People taking the trucks, picking up donations, from getting money from somebody, because we don't pick up trash. Tell the people they're going to take it to the trash. And the people pay them. And they drop it on the side of the road. And the marshals come up here to get them. They ain't now stupid enough to take the little magnetic tape off the thing that say step up. And leave it on the door. Or get a lady a tax receipt for the thing. When they identify who property had dumped it on the side of the road, such and such, had signed his signature. And they all go to jail. Every last one of them spent time for that. So I have had interruptions. Wow. Alright. It may mean sharing your money and your home, counseling frantic wives and relatives, innumerable trips to police courts, sanitaries, hospitals, jails, and asylums, and I want to add funeral homes.
Right?
Right. Your telephone may jangle at any time of the day or night. Your wife may sometimes say she is neglected. That's everybody gonna get that. All right. A drunk may smash your furniture in your home or burn a mattress. You may have to fight with him if he is violent. We had that. We had a guy in one of our recovery homes. He's gonna go use Graham Street. He's gonna go use. He go out on the worst corner in the city to try to rip off them little drug people out there. When they got him, he was running back to Graham Street. We had already packed his stuff up. So as he was trying to get back in, we were pushing him out. And he was fighting us to stay in. Because they were going to kill him if he's come. They were standing outside in the street. So we respect that recovery house. We grew up in this neighborhood. The house been there 18 years. We grew up, these kids, 17, 18. We knew about this thing all our life. This house all our life. But when he crossed that sidewalk, we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him. We called the police. They stood over there and watched. The police came inside. Said, yo, you got to go. Now, he was an African, English had an accent. The police, he was fighting the police not to go outside. He wasn't even scared of the police. He was scared of them young guys. The police had to almost pistol whip this guy to get him out. Right? And his language changed. He went back to his culture. I don't know what he was saying, but he wasn't going to leave. So my thing is that this is what happens. All right, that's just an example. Sometimes you will have to call a doctor and administer sedatives under his direction. We have people in there so sloppy drunk. Even we try to stand them up like standing up a rubber band. Fall right back to the floor. Another time you may have to send for the police, that's what we just talked about, or ambulance. Occasionally, you will have to meet such conditions. How many people have had this going on in their life? Raise your hand. I see about 10 people. Half the class. What that means, if you haven't had this going on in your life, you have not worked with others in this program. Because if you have worked with others, alcoholics and addicts, in recovery, you would have raised your hand too. Because this is reality. These things happen. And they wrote this before crack was on the scene. And meth.
Right.
This paragraph, it can be extended. Alright? They ain't even wrote about the female issues that happen in their houses. So it's more. That's what I'm trying to say. But the one thing that for sure, if you haven't seen this, you're not working with others. Because if you have, you sure would have raised your hand. Alright, next paragraph.
We seldom allow an alcoholic to live in our homes for a long time. It is not good for him, and it sometimes creates serious complications in a family.
Remember I spoke about that before? How I had a guy come to live in my apartment, and then after he left, he wasn't there but a week. It took me 3 months to like clean house. All kind of like stuff kept coming up. My phone bill was high. People kept calling my number, cussing me out, because I said he don't live there. I even had some creditors calling me. So I learned right then and there that, you know, this is something I might not want to do. You know, because there is places for people. They got detox places, you know what I'm saying? They got treatment centers. If you don't want to do none of that, I'm not going to bring you home no more. Not me. I even brought my brother home. I'll never do that again. He stayed for a weekend. He wanted recovery real bad. I think I told y'all about that. He wanted it real bad. I want to be like you. I want to quit. That was Friday morning. Saturday, Sunday, you know, ate shade and all that. Come Monday, you ready to go to treatment? I think I could pass. A couple pounds of some food and got cleaned up. Then you want to go. All right. Next.
Though an alcoholic does not respond, there is no reason why you should neglect his family. You should continue to be friendly to them. The family should be offered your way of life. Should they accept and practice spiritual principles, there is a much better chance that the head of the family will recover. And even though he continues to drink, the family will find life more bearable.
Now, you know, now we're getting a better understanding about being a teacher versus a student. The teacher can only really, in our program, give of himself, his own experiences that's happening in the paragraph. So it's kind of like you take the book. I'm trying to teach you how to study it. I'm giving you me. So when you read the book, allow the book to come alive. Allow it to be you. This is not a story no more about Bill and Bob. They gave great examples of themselves. So when you read this Bible, this book, allow it to become alive. Allow it to be you. Not just words on a page. And that's some kind of way it slipped out. I told you something come out of my mind is God. The Bible too. Nobody said you can't replace the characters with you. I never said, nobody never told me that I could pull Moses out. Nobody never told me I could, and nobody never told me I couldn't. I put both of them in there. Nobody never told me I couldn't say, okay, Moses, you step aside and put Robert in there and read it at me. Then it make more sense. It make more sense. Because if it's a Bible is a book of instructions for life, what kind of instructions I'm going to get about somebody else's life? Then if my instruction for my life, then it's got to be non-secular. It can't be a history book no more. It's a spiritual book for me to apply in my life. That makes sense?
Makes sense. That's it.
It says, though an alcoholic does not respond, there's no reason why you should neglect his family. If he don't respond to our program, you shouldn't have to neglect his family. I got a living example of that. You should continue to be friendly to them. The family should be offered your way of life. Should they accept it and practice spiritual principles, there's a much better chance that the head of the family will recover. And even though he continues to drink, the family will find life more bearable. When I used to teach this book study at another facility, the facility was large, and they had a lot of groups going on at the same time. We used to meet like 7:30 at night. But there was a family group right down the hall from me. And that's when I used to like do it loud and crazy, you know, there might be 100 people in there. And so when they get out like 45 minutes before ours was over, and they could hear us. So we had to put like 40 chairs in the back of the class. So when they got out of their class, they all came over and listened to us do the book study. And it was family counseling. The husband and the wives or significant others, you know, whatever, relationships. So I would watch, even daughters, you know, and that kind of relationship, it was like a family thing. So I would watch them over a period of time, and I would see them in the back. Then I started noticing, because we were doing the steps, you know, on the board and everything, I started noticing a lot of times the guys wasn't coming back, but the wives were still in there, right? And then later on, they would meet me outside. I said, well, where your husband? I ain't seen him. Oh, he back using. But I didn't go to the family group no more because he wasn't in it. I came to your group to learn how to work the 12 steps in my life. I said, you an addict? She said, no. But it make more sense than anything I ever heard in my life. So I want to learn how to get past D.B. Zipman that I'm holding on his ass. You know what I'm trying to say? She wanted spiritual healing. And that's kind of ironic to me. You can have another group of people that's willing to work the 12 steps, and the addict himself don't want to do it. That's all I got to say about that. For
the type of alcoholic who is able and willing to get well, little charity in the ordinary sense of the word is needed or wanted. The men who cry for money and shelter before conquering alcohol are on the wrong track. Yet we do go to great extremes to provide each other with these very things when such action is warranted. This may seem inconsistent, but we think it is not.
I was thinking about the old class, right? In the old days when I used to do this in the bigger classes, right? Whenever something used to hit me real good, I said, BAM!
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Remember them days? BAM! That's it, damn it. That's it. This is so important.
Yeah.
This is so important to a man or a woman's recovery that is a BAM! You better get this one. I see this every day of my life. For the type of alcoholic who is able and willing to get well, you're able and you're willing to be okay in life. You're able and willing to have a successful life in recovery. You can do this. You're not in the can-nots or the will-nots. You can do this. All your faculties is here. You're able and you're willing. In the ordinary sense of the word, no. To get well, little charity, in the ordinary sense of the word, is needed or wanted. We got some people in our program right now, and one of them is particularly, and I ain't gonna break your anonymity. His name's Steve. One thing I can say about this young man, I'm gonna give props where props is due. And anybody who know him, he has never, ever question about money, about the duties that he has to do, the responsibilities that's put up on him, the meetings that he has to attain, the chores that he has to do. He has never, ever tried to weasel his way out of anything. That's what I call an able and willing man. Not one time, Steve, I need you over here. Okay. Can you do this? Okay. He never come up to me, can I get an extra $2? He's straight. Now, he's not the only one out here. I can name, a few. There's a lot of them. But my point is, them needy ones,
Yeah.
they don't want it. Don't want it. Don't want it. You ain't in the program 3 days, you talking about your girlfriend. Don't want it. You don't want it. I'm going to mama's house. Don't want it. You don't want this. And people who've been around, run the organization, we already know. Since you don't want it, we're going to help you not want it. Because all you're doing is holding up someone's face who do want it. Little charity, in the ordinary sense of the word, is needed nor wanted. All they want to do is get recovery. It's the only thing on their mind. Staying clean and sober. The men who cry, this is it. The men who cry. What kind of men cry? Weak. Weak. Jealous. Insecure.
Yeah.
The men who cry for money and shelter before conquering alcohol are on the wrong track. You're on the wrong track. That's it. That's it. I gave an example of Steve. I have not, this is only to me. He has never not wanted to be here. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. He don't come to me talking about he gonna move back with his family. Or another job is pulling him out of the program. That's not on his mind, am I right? He's stable where he is because he want what? Recovery. If somebody offer him a job, he'll turn it down. Because he done had, and like me, 20 jobs before this that did not work. When I first came into this program, it took me 2 years. On my second birthday is when my family came down to the celebration and told the people in my recovery that I was a military officer. That I had own houses. I ain't talk about none of that, because none of that made no sense. All that degree, military rank, houses, family, none of that stopped me from drinking. It did not work. You can take a big old X or erase it. Family, erase it. Gone. House, gone. Job, gone. All that stuff did not keep me clean and sober. So why focus on that? I would be on the wrong track if I try to run back and get that stuff. Before conquering alcohol. And the beautiful thing about this, if you work the 12 steps, God will give you that back anyway. Read the story of Job. Once you start working with others, and it never disappears. You're on the wrong track. Then I see people come into our program. I don't have them work up here. Every day I walk through the door. Now these clients have a big grandiose ideal, a about what I should do. What kind of production I need. You know, he's not here no more, but I don't want y'all think. He need to, if he would just listen to me, I would show him how to take that little $100 camera that we use and turn it into a tractor trailer full of equipment to do production for the step up. I said, you're on the wrong track. Don't you think you need to be thinking about recovery, conquering alcohol? Because I keep thinking about that. If I'm not thinking about that, the hell you thinking about it for me for? You know? So my point is, I'm going to start cursing on this thing. But my thing is like, you need to do those steps. You're on the wrong track. You think about the wrong stuff. Yeah. It expands though, y'all. It's not only in here. It's everywhere now. Institutions that get grants to send you to school. You ain't work no steps. I hear it all the time. VA good at that one. Oh, yeah. These people need to be in a treatment center, doing these steps, trying their best to conquer alcoholism. They send them to school, pay them big checks. I ain't seen not one graduate. You know, they're in school and brand new computers. We had guys coming out. I say, well, you know, you're doing a little 30-day and 90-day work. I ain't gonna be here next month because I'm going to school. School? Why? You need to be working on the 12 step. You need to be in your program. Now they're gonna give me $1,400 a month, a brand new computer. I said, listen to me. Please listen to me. First of all, I'm gonna have to tell you, I ain't seen nobody graduate yet. Okay? Because when they give you $1,400 and the computer is over. Because you have not conquered alcoholism. Yeah. All right? So, I said, all right. I said, let's suppose you did make an A in a couple classes. If I had to evaluate you, I would give you an A for your academics and an F for your recovery. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now see which one way out. See which one gonna win out. That F for your recovery gonna be where you be. You flunked it. A lot of institutions is doing that. Sending crackheads to school. Before they come on alcoholism.
Educated crackhead.
Be like, what's that movie? What's this not? New Jack City? Yeah, with Chris Rock? Yeah. Send them treatment, put them right in the know-how to be a police. You gonna geek it a week later. He ain't talking no alcoholism. You can't put him in that kind of position. And what about this one? This one more. It don't work. You can't do this. It don't work. You need to do something that's going to work, and the 12-step work. What about the educated one? They got master's degrees already. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. They done had good jobs already. They should be the first ones to know. Forget the GEDs, guys. The educated ones should be the first one to turn education down. You don't have good jobs. Bloop. You don't have money. Bloop. So why you trying to chase money? Now, it didn't work then. The only thing you have to do is sit your behind down and do the 12 steps. The money will come to you. You're doing it backwards. You're putting the cart in front of the horse. You want to be a successful, productive citizen that has not conquered alcoholism or crack. How much of a successful citizen you gonna be? Nothing. It said, yet we go to great extremes to provide each other with these very things when such action is warranted. We're going to help you along. You know, there's nothing wrong with a guy having to get a job because he needs to eat. You don't need to pay his bill. But the job should be structured around his recovery. That's what St. Jude, try to tell y'all, it get something that's going to be humbling just to pay your affairs so you can work on yourself. You don't want to be in treatment and at the same time the CEO or assistant director for some department downtown that's taking all of your energy, all of your time, all of your thinking, because you're going to all these board meetings, making all these plans and all that, and you haven't conquered alcohol. It ain't going to work. All right? And then I ain't got to talk about, it said, the men who cry for money and shelter before conquering alcohol. Oh, shelter. Going to shack up with somebody else. Leave a treatment center to go shack up with a woman. Or a woman in a treatment center, they do this, to go shack up with their kids at their house. Now I'm going to tell you something about, this is men. We ain't talking about the one who cry. We talking about grown men. I ain't going to speak on women because they can do that themselves. I have never, ever lived with one, maybe two women in my 58 years on this planet. No, yeah, 58 years on this planet when I wasn't on the lead. That do not work. It's not a woman alive. She's in her house. It's her lease. It's her mortgage. Get out! I ain't never met one. They're gonna say, come on in, you can stay and don't do nothing. It don't happen. They're not built like that. They're gonna tell you on numerous occasions, you got to go. They're gonna tell you that. So why would you have, you the player? The player always get played, you know. If you the player, you know when you go to the woman's house, because they don't, happened to you so numerous times before. They tell you, get out. That's a humiliating feeling to me. That's why I never had it happen but a couple times. And one was a girlfriend, the other one was my mama. She told me, get out. So that's it. I stay in treatment till I sign my own lease. That's it. If anybody got to go, it's got to be the landlord telling me to go. And I'm going to know why then. Because I ain't paid no rent like I ain't paid nothing at the lady house. Blue? All right, let's get back more serious. It is not a matter of giving. All right, Paul.
It is not a matter of giving that is in question, but when and how to give. That often makes the difference between failure and success. The minute we put our work on a service plane, the alcoholic commences to rely upon our assistance rather than upon God. He clamors for this or that, claiming he cannot master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. Nonsense. Some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth. Job or no job, wife or no wife. We simply do not stop drinking so long as we have place dependence upon other people ahead of dependence on God.
Now here's the deal. I have heard this, I would say, no less than 10,000 times in my recovery journey. Well, people come and recover because someone else doing it for someone else. Yeah. All right. And every damn one, I'm going to tell you, it don't work. It don't work. That don't work. And I was thinking that, they go a little deeper than that, you know what I'm trying to say? But recovery is from the inside out. We're talking inside your mind. I'm not talking about, a lot of times when I used to hear the inside, I kind of look at my chest, at my heart or something, but they wasn't really explaining the way it should be something that's on your mind, your thinking, your thoughts. That's what we're talking about from the inside out. The way you think. You know what I'm saying? Your old thinking versus your new thinking. Your belief systems. You know, we carry belief systems that's been with us since childhood. That's what we're talking about from the inside out. You have to change your belief systems. The 12 steps belief system is that God is within us. Within me. It could only be in my imagination, in my thinking, in my thoughts. I know God breathing for me. I wouldn't if God wasn't in me, every breath I take is God. All right. I don't think about my breathing. I don't think about my heart. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think about what direction I'm walking or what my legs are doing while I'm walking. I don't think about that. All that involuntary stuff that's going on is a part of the universe, part of God. All right? But the God that's really, we're talking about the mindset. All right? But I had a belief system that I was separated from God. That I'm here and God's in heaven, way away from me. That was a belief system that was in me. Then they said I need to find a God in me. Well, that belief system for me had to be changed. Now that's hard. That was one of the hardest belief systems that I had to change. Because I was raised like that. I was taught like that. I even see it on TV like that today. So, but the 12 steps say he's within, and that's the only place we're going to find him, deep down inside of us. I'm like, whoa. I had to gradually change my belief system. But one of them did not work for me. That one that I had when I was separated, and I keep telling y'all, spirituality is not separated. It's all 1 plus 1 equals 1. Not 1 plus 1 equals 2. There's no separation. So I had to change my belief system and allow this God that's within me to grow and dominate me. Looking at the scriptures, they kept saying it too. Greater is on he that's in me that's in the world. A lot of scriptures back it up. But when I had the belief system the other way, the scripture didn't make no sense. That's right. But once I changed my belief system, now I'm in a concurrence with the scriptures. They find them in the visions. All the great characters of the Bible will go to sleep and have a vision, a dream of God in their own mind. In their mind. When you have faith, you got to have it in your mind that it's real. It's not out there, it's in you. Every God, the Spirit of God is in every living human being. When the time that baby come out, that first little pop, God. God. It's all God. We've all got the power of God in us to recreate our lives, to change, to give back, to serve. It's all God. So, with that, that's just one belief system that need to be changed. I had the belief system that the 12 steps did not work when I first got here. It made no sense to me. Because first of all, I had never read no book either. And when I did read it, I read it like a novel, so it still didn't make no sense. Then I looked on the board and did the board, and on the board, I read it in 5 minutes and I worked my steps. Right. So it didn't make no sense. But as I started doing this, came to believe. Had to come to And that's changed my belief system to believe that this was the right way for me. That makes sense? A lot of things in my life did not work. And by me living in fear all the time, I had got addicted to the things that did not work. And since they were so comfortable to me, I didn't want to come out of the did not work zone. Let me stay there because it's comfortable. I don't care if it's killing me, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. And in the program, you cannot stay there because it becomes uncomfortable. Too many people around us coming up out of there, sharing about it, and you sitting there in the turmoil and scared to raise your hand to talk about where you are. Then you want to go to a little meeting and talk about the little meeting don't work. You don't work. Because you ain't going to talk in the big one. I can tell you that right now. 100 people in there, you ain't raising nothing. You sitting there in fear that they're going to call you and talk. So, you got opportunity now to work on yourself. That's what this whole thing is about. We covered about working on you. Alright? So let's see what it say right here. It is not a matter of giving that is in question, but when and how to give. Every person that ever worked from a sponsee to a sponsee relationship or have been addict, know this sentence. We done gave too much and it ain't working. So we had to pull back. Am I right, y'all? Pull back and reevaluate how I'm going to do this one. Because this ain't working. I'm being used. I'm being played. They don't want recovery. They want me to ride them around town. You know what I'm saying? I hear people come up here every week about going from this meeting home, and you got to stop at Kroger's and go here to Walgreens. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't giving me but $5 worth of gas. You know? I hear it all the time. It's how and when to give. I had to learn that. And by being, we talked about codependent, by being so codependent, if I said no, I felt guilty.
Yeah, that's true.
So I had to learn how to do this thing. And you make mistakes. But remember, we all one. If I made a mistake, you made a mistake. That often makes the difference between failure and success. You can give so much and help a client so much, or a sponsee so much, or prospect so much, that when you stop, they stop coming to the meeting. Because they have got dependent on you and what you were doing to satisfy their needy self. And then when you say no, they're gone. Gone. I done seen it. It done happen to me. The minute we put our work on a service plane, that means level, energy, the alcoholics commit to rely on our assistance rather than upon God. When you start giving so much and helping so much, they become addicted to me or us helping them instead of looking for a power that's greater than themselves. This is all true stuff, y'all. All true. We had example of that. At one time, we allowed the truck drivers, since the truck was so close to the house, to swing by to pick up the guys and bring them to work. Remember them? We used to do that. If the truck driver had to make a stop or had to fix his brakes, or they do that in the morning, or do this or do that, the guy late too. Why you not here? Unloading? Why you go? Cause I ride on the truck. No, you ride on the truck when you leave here to go get donated, but you supposed to get up and come to work. Well, he didn't pick me up, or he was earlier than me. They got dependent on the truck instead of the model system. Then when we said no more, 3 of them left. I can't get a ride to work. He ain't paying me that much. I'm gonna go. Where you gonna go? You putting money and shelter before conquering alcohol. You're on the wrong track anyway. Bye. Happens. This is working with others. That's the topic. You come dependent upon that and upon God. Now, what I mean by that is, I know when in my early recovery, every time I had it I heard somebody talk about time management today. I had time management down to a science. I got good at it. I worked at Goodwill, and I had to ride the bus. Let me tell y'all something that's real crazy though. Me and a celebrity today, a big one, to live in the same place. You wasn't no celebrity then. And I used to go, like, he was over here and I was over here, and we used to meet every morning at this bus stop. And he'd be talking like, hey, I'm gonna be a rapper and I'm gonna be this. And it's crazy talk to me. But I would sit there and listen to him because it made sense. When everybody else wouldn't listen to it. CeeLo. Get on the bus with him. Everything he said, he became. Everything I said, I became. Telling you what I'm doing. I just tell him I'm gonna open up me a thrift store. I was just hanging clothes at Goodwill. He said I'm gonna be a big movie star. I'm gonna be on television. I said, man, I'm gonna own my own store, this and that. Today, both of us got it. We still had that kind of thoughts going on there. But my time management was so good. It was so good that I didn't want nobody, I didn't need no charity. I didn't want nobody taking me nowhere. I had down to a science. In the morning time, I knew I just studied my little, the bus back and forth to work. I had it down to the side where I did my spirituality on that bus. I read my 20 just for the day stuff, and I contemplated it, and I did that. Then when I go to work, I do that. At my lunchtime, I went and sat by myself, had a little desk and stuff. I did some of my 4-step. You know what I'm trying to say? And on the way back, I had something that I wrote a note in the 4-step that I would contemplate on the train. Then I go to my meet. I had it down pat. So if it was a ride for me to take me somewhere, I probably would have turned it down. Because I was working on me. I didn't need, I wasn't going to be sitting at that thumbing a ride. You know what I mean? And get mad or resent me because he said no. I had a system. And it worked. Alright? So I wasn't dependent upon nobody. But I was dependent upon God. Probably didn't know it. But I was getting into the God thing. Alright? He claiming for this or that. Claiming he could not master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. I gotta have this need. A needy person. I got to have this. Why? I need this. I gotta run over here. I need to go to grandma's house. All this material stuff. I need a bicycle. I need this. I need that. But where's your 24 hour just for the day book? Don't you need that too? Where's your sponsor? Don't you need that too? All the things that you should need that's going to help you get a power greater than yourself, you don't want that. You want material stuff. I give a guy the little siphon that we give him, he give it to a girlfriend for to pay the bill. The phone bill. If you're going to pay anything, don't pay nobody phone bill. Because you know good and well you got a curfew at 11 o'clock. What you think that phone doing after you come in the treatment house? It's on. And you paying for it. Material needs. You need it. You need to do that so she can love you. But she using the phone to love someone else. You know what I mean? With your phone. Nonsense. That is nonsense. Yeah. Some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn that's true. Job or no job, wife or no wife, phone or no phone bill, We simply do not stop drinking so long as we place dependence upon other people ahead of dependence upon God. We all have God in us. We all have this imagination. We all know without a fact that I think next week you're going to talk about it, that how we, give me a second, how we, if it didn't hit it, I don't want to miss it if it's in this one. How we had to place it in God's hands. Alright? We all have the ideal of God. Now my dogs don't have it. You know what I'm trying to say? The little animals I got, they're not walking around talking about God. They don't have this concept of God. So if I have a concept of God, it's in my mind. That makes sense? It's in my mind. Sometimes I talk about planting the wrong seed in there, but it's in my mind. So I got to have a concept of a God in my own understanding, in my own mindset now. So if I have to depend on it, I have to depend on it, and we already been taught how to pray from the end. If you want to be, have let's say a college degree, a BS or a BA, and you want to stay on the presidential list, the only thing you have to do is imagine that you're always there. With the help of God, you stay there. You see yourself in that gown and that cap. You see yourself walking that stage. You keep that in your mind. You stay in that faith that it's going to happen no matter what. No job or no job. You still going to graduate. Girlfriend or boyfriend, you still going to graduate. You know what I'm saying? People come in your life, people leave your life, people come and go. You still hold that faith. That's what we're talking about. Holding on to the ideal of what you and God made an agreement on. And then put the dependence in His hand. All you got to do is get on the computer and do your job. Do what you're supposed to do. I guarantee you. Or if you don't get it, then the whole thing's a lie. Faith without works is dead. But you got to have faith in something. How about how if they say faith without works is dead, I would say no faith. And you know, you ain't got no faith in nothing, that's dead too. That's surely dead. That's real dead. No, that's not even, that ain't never been alive. You can't even die. You can't die. You ain't never been alive. How's that? You got to have something. Faith in something. And I surely would assist. I would really, really beg. Because I had this one. I had faith in this program. I had faith that the 12-step program worked. And every one of the programs that I tried did not work. That belief system that I could go back and start that stuff without doing this first, I had to let it go. It don't work. This became the most important thing in my life, and after I found out that, and I started doing that, it became the best thing ever in my life. Thank y'all for a good meeting.